everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We are here today with Mark Peart, the founder and CEO of DIT Agtech, an innovative Australian company that's revolutionizing livestock nutrition through automated water supplementation technology. Mark, thanks for joining me in our conversation today.
Thank you, Rhythm. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Amazing. Now, Mark, to begin our interview, could you walk us through how your technology is transforming traditional livestock supplementation, and also what led you to identify this significant market opportunity in the Australian agriculture?
Yeah, so Rhythm, at the basis level of what our technology is, we're finding better ways to supplement livestock. And as most of your listeners would know, we're an arid country, and where most of the livestock is run across the world, it's in arid environments. So we have to supplement our livestock to get in production. Traditionally, we have done this with a lick block that we put on the ground that the cattle lick. It's very expensive. There's a lot of the logistics involved. There's a lot of wastage. And because we can't measure consumption, we can't manage production. So we've automated this with dosing technology. As all of your listeners would know, all livestock have to drink every day. So we've worked out and solved the problem from a technical perspective and also a chemistry perspective to put these supplements in the drinking water, and we can manage production because we can change dose rates with the use of satellite technology.
That's brilliant, Mark. And it's clear that there is a real need of your technology in the market. Speaking of market validation, with over 200 dosing units already installed across major cattle stations in North Australia, what kind of operational and financial benefits are your customers experiencing?
Good question, Rhythm. It's really simple. We're seeing cost reductions of up to 50% in supplementations. We're solving those big labour issues we have in agriculture because we're automating this, and also DIT runs an enterprise operation, so we do all the work for our customers. We've seen increased calving percentages. So if you were to look at a large corporate property in Northern Australia, if we can increase their calving percentage by 10%, that equates to about another 1,000 calves on the ground at a value of $1,000 each. We're seeing huge benefits to our customers. But we look at this from a very simplistic thing. We need to solve those basic problems, like labour, logistics, automation, and using technology and chemistry innovation to solve these.
Those results are indeed quite impressive, Mark. Now, looking at your growth trajectory, your current customers collectively manage over 1.4 million herd of cattle, but you are only servicing around 170,000 herd of cattle and 300,000 sheep so far. So can you discuss this expansion opportunity within your existing customer base, and also how the current capital raise will help capture this growth?
Yeah, so Rhythm, one thing I think we've done really well at DIT is thinking strategically how we commercialise our offering. So from day one, we thought that we were better off to find the big corporate customers where we might have 10 customers with 200,000 head of cattle, focus on getting them onto our platform and grow out those other customers as we start to grow out the smaller farmers across the country. So when we look at scaling the business now, we're not having to acquire new customers to meet our projected forecast. We're just scaling our current customers. This capital raise will help us to scale these current customers, so build more technology, buy more equipment, and increase that revenue, while at the same time the capital will allow us to enter overseas markets where our opportunities are the same as Australia, but much better, much bigger actually, in markets like Brazil and the United States.
I understand, and that's a significant domestic opportunity as well. Now, like you've mentioned, that you're not just focused on Australia. You have secured patents in major markets like the USA, Brazil, Canada, and also New Zealand. So how do you actually plan to approach these international markets, and what potential of revenue opportunities do they represent for you?
Yeah, so our forecast in Australia, 1 million head of cattle on our platform is 50 million of revenue and about 18 million of EBITDA. There's 27 million head of cattle in Australia. So we've been working closely with our partners in Brazil and the US with the plan to launch by the end of this quarter. To give you some idea of the size of the market in Brazil, so there's 28 million head of cattle in Australia. the 4 target states that we've identified in the US and Brazil. So if I look at Brazil initially, these 4 target states are the same size as Queensland. We have 13 million head of cattle in Queensland. These 4 target states have 88 million head of cattle in Brazil. All of these states too are legislated to put in water infrastructure so our dosing technology will seamlessly operate. Second to that is the US strategy. Again, it's a 4-state project, 4 states, 70% of the size of Queensland, but they run the same amount of cattle as Australia. So the way I look at this when I talk to our team or any other investors is what we've been doing at DIT is nailing our value proposition in Australia. This particular raise will help us to scale it. And I think that's one of the beauties of DIT is we're very strategic. We understand our customers. We understand all those commercial realities of how to build an agtech business in agriculture. And we've learnt these things now. Now we will take these learnings and enter these markets and accelerate our growth.
Amazing. Sounds like an exciting plan ahead. Now, Mark, speaking of innovation and future opportunities, so let's talk about your environmental impact. So your UPro Blue solution is particularly interesting as Australia's only market-ready methane-reducing supplement deliverable through precision dosing systems. So how significant is this carbon credit opportunity for both DIT Agtech and your customers?
It's really significant, Rhythm. I think just for your listeners, you know, I've got nearly 40 years of experience in extensive agriculture. So when the methane debate entered our society that we needed to reduce methane in livestock, I could see very clearly 4 years ago that the problem to solve was not the additives to reduce methane. The problem to solve has always been about delivery and logistics and that last mile of logistics. So if you look at the marketplace now, Rhythm, we have a range of additives that have come on the market. Some of these companies have raised a huge amount of money to produce these additives. But what no one solved is delivery. As we build out this technology platform, we could see as a business 4 years ago that if we could integrate into our dosing technology and develop a product, in fact, or products, because we're agnostic to which one of these additives win the race. We wanted to build the technology to be able to put these additives in the water and feed these to livestock alongside of phosphorus and proteins and trace elements. We could feed a methane additive. Because of the sophistication of our dosing technology and our software platform, we know exactly how much of these methane additives are being injected. Therefore, we can back solve the math and overlay a carbon project. So as the livestock are drinking, they're reducing methane and the farmers are producing a carbon credit. The other thing that's important in agriculture is there's many different views on whether cattle are bad to the environment. From DIT's perspective, we're enabling farmers to capture this opportunity around sustainability and monetize this opportunity, not just for their farms, but for the environment. We're literally weeks away from having our carbon project. We've been working on it for 2 years. That'll give us a carbon project across the whole of Australia on our technology. The farmer puts the doser in, we enable software. All of a sudden, we start feeding the cattle and they're producing carbon credits, reducing methane. We have also lodged these carbon projects now in Brazil, the US, and New Zealand, and that is part of our strategy into these markets to introduce our carbon projects and our dosing technology for those farmers in Brazil and the US and New Zealand to also be part of the sustainability opportunity, but more importantly, to make their farms more financially viable from the creation of carbon credits.
Amazing. And I have to say that this environmental aspect that has been added definitely adds like a compelling dimension to your business model. Now, Mark, speaking of business models, your sticky business model combining the full service enterprise model and the razor blade approach, that seems quite robust. So how has this dual strategy helped in customer retention and also recurring revenue generation?
Yeah, so Rhythm, again, 40 years of experience told me very early on that farmers don't want to own tech. They want service, they want customers. So we worked hard to work out we could solve those commercial problems So 90% of all our customers now work on an enterprise business. There's no upfront cost. We put the tech in, we fill the tanks with the supplements, we manage all their pastures and manure and everything like that. We collect all the data and we give them advice on what they should be doing with their dose rates. And the farmers only have to pay for the supplement. So 90% of the revenue comes from these enterprise models. But of course, the smaller farmers in Southern Australia, where we're moving into now, don't have enough scale for us to offer that. So we have a real business-led strategy with the smaller farmers. What's important for these farmers, if they're going to buy our dosing technology, if it breaks down, can we get service? So we've implemented a lifetime warranty on our dosing technology. All they need to do is buy the minimum amount of supplements every year. If they buy the minimum amount, we extend the warranty. So if the doser breaks down or there are any problems, we'll replace it or we'll come and fix it up. We charge no fee for our data. And that's really creating a lot of stickiness in the market with them, because farmers know that we've got their back. Our business is about relationships. We're not a transactional ag tech business where we're selling a widget. We're part of their operation and we're looking for long-term sustainable relationships with our customers. So our business models are very refined now so that we can start to scale this into other countries. And the tech's become extremely reliable as well.
Amazing. That's brilliant, Mark. Now, for our viewers watching this interview, you've heard it all about the work that DIT and the team are doing. So please feel free to check out the information at the side of the screen or in the description of this video. And Mark, thank you again for joining me in this conversation and for sharing your insights about DIT's innovative approach to livestock supplementation and your growth plans. Our team wishes you all the luck with your venture moving forward.
Thank you very much, Rhythm. And we appreciate working with Wholesale Investor. And we've had fantastic success with all your investors. We're big fans of the platform you have. And a lot of our investors have come through this platform. So I'm looking forward to talking to more investors who'd like to know the DIT story.
Absolutely. Our team will definitely be staying in touch with you, and we'll shortly be organizing another interview to share another update about DIT's progress with our viewers. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you very much, Rhythm.